In order to help you understand the importance of a call to action assessment, I want to give you a little overview of what call to actions are, where they should be, some of the mistakes people make, so you understand how I can assist you in making sure that your site converts better by having an understanding of how your call to actions are right now and areas for improvement. So, when looking at a call to action, the first thing to understand is exactly what does that mean. And a call to action is simply put an implicit or explicit suggestion contained in a marketer's content in an advertising banner or website copy, which is the really wordy way of saying it's the stuff on your site that causes people to take the actions you want them to take. It causes them to do what you want them to do, either to leave their email, buy this item, etc., etc. That's the point of call to actions. So, an example here is on StumbleUpon, where they have the big orange button that says Join StumbleUpon. You clearly know where to go to begin and join StumbleUpon. So, what is important that a call to action have involved in it? Call to actions need to have action. Clearly state what you want them to do. Direction. Where are they going? Is it click here? Is it put your email here? What is it? It's important to know where the location of a call to action should be. It should be above the fold, usually either along the left side so people see it while they're reading, or you have stuff that directs them to it. You explain what they're doing and then the final call to action along the right, following kind of the natural way people read. Color is important. You want things that are going to stand out. Usually soft colors are better than really harsh colors. The size of it is important compared to everything else on the page. It doesn't need to be overwhelming, but it needs to be big enough to stand out. And room. Usually you want your call to actions to have some space between the actual physical action that they're taking and everything else that's on the page. So these are all things that I'll be assessing on your site. This example here is called the Belcher button, and it's one of the most effective call to actions ever done. It's got a change in price along the top here, it tells you what to happen, and it lets you know that you can use your credit cards, all of which help to assure people that what they're doing is right, that they're getting a great deal, they know exactly what they're supposed to do. All of that is very effective, so that's what makes for a good call to action. And where should you have your call to action? Well, call to action should be, most people do not realize there's many places to have them. For example, on a sticky post, which could be the first main primary thing people see when they come on their site. Often this is a blog post that stays at the top. Also, all of your blog posts should have some form of call to action, even if it's something simple like leave a comment below. But every blog post should have some form of call to action. The right side, the right widget area of your site absolutely is one of the primary places for call to action. If you can, based on what you're building, your header should have some form of call to action, as should your footer. Your About page needs to clearly have some call to actions, even if it's just connecting with you on social media, things like that. Contact page, it's not just the fact that there's a form there, you need to tell them exactly what you want them to put into the form. Business cards. How many of you have a back of a business card that's blank? It's a space you're missing the opportunity to put a call to action. Offer pages absolutely need to have call to actions. If you're trying to sell something to somebody, you clearly have to have a well-defined, well-understood call to action there. Image captions. This is one that almost everybody misses, and that's any caption underneath a picture on your site absolutely should have some form of call to action, directing you somewhere. And a video descriptions. Whenever you post videos online, the descriptions have to be clear. It's not just, isn't this a funny video, haha, it's, isn't this a funny video, to find more, to get to see more, subscribe to my channel. Somehow, you always want to be telling the person what the next step is for them. And so here's another one that has, you can see the spacing, the color, direction, there's action going on with the arrow leading people to the sign up button. All of those pieces I was talking about are here clearly kind of illustrated. And so it's also important to be aware of common mistakes a lot of people will make with call to actions. So the first mistake is that they don't get dedicated enough thinking time to the words used. So images and color and all that is important, but it's important to know that you have to have the right word. Just wording in there, like add to cart converts better than buy now. Simple things like that that are important to know that, that I'll help be able to show you within your site when I do the assessment. Not creating enough call to actions for prospects. So prospects are people who just have found your site and they might want to know a little bit more. A lot of times this is where email lists and things and capturing people's emails are important. So you want to make sure you have CTAs for those folks who are just getting introduced to you. And then not creating enough CTAs for customer enrollment. Once they bought from you, a lot of people have one product, they sell it, they're finished, and they don't do anything next. You always want to do something next, even if it's just getting a testimonial on the product, if you don't have that next product to sell them. And then not creating enough CTAs for evangelists. Evangelists are people who love what you're doing, want to tell other people what you're doing. If you can give them clear steps to be able to share your message is going to get out there a lot more. So you want to have your evangelists have call to actions as well. That's where affiliate centers and things like that come in. And then not doing enough research with co-opetition. I don't believe in competition on the web, I believe in co-opetition. But you can learn from the folks who are doing similar things to you and really, really find out what they're doing and grow from that. So you have to be doing the research. So these are common mistakes most people make, and I'll be able to point those out in the assessment when I see that things are what you may or may not have that could be done better. So that's the benefits and the power of call to actions. And when I do the assessment, I'll go through your site and look at everything on your site and be able to really pinpoint those areas where you have effective call to actions and where you really need to improve the work you're doing on your call to action. And I'll give it to you in a very simple, easy to read report with some very clear scoring so you can kind of see where you're scoring compared to some of the best out there. So go ahead and click below. See, that's a call to action. Click below where it says to add to cart. Get yourself and go ahead and get yourself set up for this assessment. It's going to really help you be able to change the conversion rates on your website. Cheers.